Welcome. This public hearing is now open. It is 3 p.m. My name is Susan Langdon. I'm the Executive Director of the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency, and I have been designated by the agency to be the hearing officer to conduct this public hearing. I will now read the notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, and Section 859A of Title I of Article 18A of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York as amended, and Chapter 569 of the Laws of 1972 of the State of New York, will be held by the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency on Tuesday, November 29th, 2022 at 3 p.m. local time at the City of Lockport Council Chambers at the Lockport Municipal Building, 1 Locks Plaza, Lockport, New York, in connection with the matter described below. OAHS Urban Park TC LLC, a New York limited liability company, for itself or an entity formed or to be formed, has requested that the agency issue its tax-exempt multifamily housing revenue bonds in a maximum stated principal amount not to exceed $19 million in one or more series as part of a plan of finance for the purpose of assisting with a certain project of A, the acquisition of leasehold interest in approximately 0.73 acre parcel of land located at 77 Main Street in the city of Lockport, Niagara County, New York, together with the existing approximately 103,713 square foot, 12-story, 150-unit senior affordable housing complex thereon. B, number 1, the renovation, refurbishment, and upgrading of the existing improvements. 2, upgrades to electrical equipment. 3, updates to all major systems, including elevators and heating systems. And 4, improvements to the various site features. C, the acquisition and installation in and around the improvements of certain items of machinery, equipment, fixtures, furniture, and other incidental tangible personal property, and together with the land, the existing improvements, and the improvements to the facility. D, the payment of all or a portion of the costs of issuing the bonds, credit enhancement fees relating to the bonds, if any, funding a debt service reserve fund, if any, and capitalized interest, if any. And E, the retention by the issuer of a leasehold or other interest in the facility and the lease or sale of the issuer's interest in the facility back to the company pursuant to an agreement which shall require the company to make payments sufficient to fund the debt service payments on the bonds and make certain other payments. All of the facilities financed and or refinanced with the bonds are or will be owned and or operated by the company and or will be located at 77 Main Street in the city of Lockport, Niagara County, New York, 14094. The project facility will be owned, operated, and managed by the company. The bonds will be a special obligation of the agency payable solely from rental payments made by the company to the agency pursuant to a lease or other agreement and certain other assets of the company pledged to the repayment of the bonds. The agency is contemplating providing financial assistance to the company with respect to the project in the form of 1, interest savings through the issuance of bonds, and 2, mortgage recording tax exemptions relating to financings undertaken in furtherance of the project, including the agency's issuance of the bonds. If the issuance of such bonds is approved by the agency, 1, is intended that interest on such bonds will be executed from gross income for federal income tax purposes pursuant to Section 103A of the Code. 2, the company shall make payments sufficient to fund debt service on the bonds and make certain other payments. And 3, the bonds will be special limited obligations of the agency payable solely from certain of the proceeds of the agreement and certain other assets of the agency pledged to the repayment of the bonds. It is intended that the bonds will be issued as exempt facility bonds for a qualified residential rental project pursuant to Section 142A7 of the Code. Under the Code, approval of the issuance of the bonds by the Niagara County Legislature is necessary under Section 147F of the Code in order for the interest on the bonds to be excluded from gross income for federal income tax purposes. The bond shall not be a debt of the State of New York or any other political subdivision thereof, including Niagara County, and neither the State of New York nor any political subdivision thereof, including Niagara County, shall be liable thereon. Minutes of the public hearing will be made available to the Niagara County Legislature. Approval of the issuance of the bonds by the Niagara County Legislature, if necessary, in order for the interest on the bonds to be excluded from gross income for federal income tax purposes. In accordance with Section 859A of the Act, a representative of the agency will be at the above stated time and place to present a copy of the company's project application, including a cost-benefit analysis, which is also available for viewing on the agency's website at niagaracountybusiness.com. The agency will live stream the public hearing at www.facebook.com/pg/ncced/posts, and the agency encourages all interested parties to submit written comments to the agency, which will be included within the public hearing record, which can be submitted by mail to Susan C. Langdon, Executive Director, Niagara County Industrial Development Agency at 6311 Indican Corporate Drive, Suite 1, Sanborn, New York 14132, or by email to susan.langdon@niagaracounty.com. Does anybody wish to make any comments on this matter? There being no comments, I will now adjourn the hearing. It's 3:06 p.m.